Sleeves are sticking out.
Hey, it's the Scotch Test Dummies. I'm Scott.
Barney here.
We got a Westland hand-filled from the distillery.
Huh? What? But I like Westland. We're going to test it.
Peated Westland style.
Ooh, and it's hand-filled? What? All right, so right off, he started slapping me around because I was looking. I was like, this says Scott on it. What's up with that?
Well, it's got Bart on it, too.
I know. But Scott, what? I missed the Bart.
Oh. Yeah, he's all examining. Usually you sit down and we just start filming.
I know.
You're looking at it.
Like I could feel something was up.
What's
you
going
were
on
sneaking
here?
something across. You were sneaking.
No, look. Anyway, John, we've called him John in the past, has
Right.
arranged for us to get Westland whiskeys.
Formerly known as John.
He's got some notes for us here. He says, by the way, you can call me John Ingman. You don't have to be John. Last time you were calling him John.
Yeah, I like it. We were using code.
But
What
anyway,
if I don't want to call him John Ingman? I could call him
You can
Triple
call him.
John. I could call him John.
we can call him whatever you want.
JJJ.
But anyway, John went to the distillery. We've got a cup. There's another Westland over here. We're going to look at this one.
JJJ.
This is Bairds barley, Bairds heavily peated hand fill from the distillery,
Wow.
which he poured himself.
Oh,
And he wrote, it's got hand filled by the Test Dummies Reserve on here.
yeah,
John England.
I was like, what? What is going on?
7 years old, 61.8% ABV.
And I started asking Scott all these questions. Why is your name on here? Why does it say Test Dummies? What's going on?
Yep. And John says, check out the personalized label check out the personalized label. There's a little bit more information on the next one that we have to review as well.
Wow. It looks cool,
So-
too. It's got all this gold and black going on.
Wonder.
And do you know what cask number's 3213. And, I just saw it's a 700 milliliter bottle.
Huh?
What? JJJ?
You should expect it by now.
I don't expect it. I don't want it.
The rest of the world has.
Don't be like everybody else.
Westland, though,
John, thank you. What?
probably the original American single malt. Were
Yeah,
they
then they
the
changed.
first, though, you think, to do American single malts?
Who knows if they're the first?
But they were at the forefront.
Definitely forefront on American single malts, just
Yeah.
in general.
Yeah.
Yes. And
I don't remember if they were the first
sure,
to release
I don't know either.
single malt. But
And then they did a reconfigure because remember they used to have the sherried version,
Mhm.
the regular, and then the peated,
mhm.
and then they reconfigured a little bit and came up with like a different blend. I like it. Then we've had peat weeks that have come out from them, with the circus,
Clear.
1920s circus style.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
A few things. 7 years old. I think I said that 61.8% ABV. Scott and Bart on here, like I say. Westland hand-filled American single malt whiskey. Bairds heavily peated.
and
I
do
can smell
get
it.
peat. Yes,
Uh-huh.
I get peat coming
It's-
off of it with the charcoal. It's like a charcoal peat.
Sweeter.
Yes.
Well,
Charcoal peat with a slight day after barn fire smell. I think I meant to say bonfire, but it
Oh.
came out as barn, so we'll stick with it.
that could be a thing.
Yeah, there was a barn that caught fire, and this is what it smelled like the day after.
It's sweet. There's peat.
Might have
It smells like, to me, it's more like a hay
okay.
fire.
Yeah,
a
okay, I can see
stack
that.
of hay on fire.
I get just a touch of antiseptic here as well. Like just a hint of iodine, which is on peat sometimes, which I like. I know a lot of people will be like, what?
Mm.
Ooh, you're sipping. Good. What you got?
You were doing such a good job of talking. I thought I was just going in.
Mm.
Pete hit me right up front. This is probably the most
Ooh.
peated American whiskey I've had.
Wow. Holy moly.
I'm trying to think. A lot of American. Hold on, we just lost the computer. A little touch. We're back. We had a technical difficulty.
Woo.
The camera had shut off around the 5-minute mark.
Yeah. If there's ever
And so
well,
we didn't know it.
there's ever time to have a technical difficulty, it's with a Westland
Yep.
Peated, baby.
Yep.
Woo.
We were into this one. We've been, I think we're kind of on first tasting. We hadn't added water yet, I don't think, but
Nope.
we'll go back through this.
Yep.
Giving a lot of notes.
So one thing I'm getting is the peat is definitely on the forefront. It's like I've got a steam engine and that puff of smoke
Yeah.
right from the forefront just hits me.
We had talked about, though, too, our differences. I had thought this kind of resembled more of a Highland peated Scotch. You thought more of an Isla peated Scotch, which kind of surprised me.
Yes.
Because it would have to have a very nice profile
Yes.
to confuse you with an Isla.
I think it would. It's the forefront of the smoke that grabs me that would make me think maybe even like a Brooklotti peated. But what is a little bit perplexing is for me, the drop off, the finish isn't as long as what I'm used to from an Isla Peat. I've had Isla Peats have a 5-minute, finish where I'm still getting leathers and tobaccos. Here, I feel like the finish drops off for me. It's all on the forefront.
I like the finish on it. I think it's I'm not quite sure where you think it's falling off or it's dropping. Maybe you're just, if you're talking about like the peat level, maybe the peat just isn't as saturated in the finish as what you think it should be.
Yeah.
The finish, I mean, to me, is still very nice. But yeah, maybe that peat just doesn't quite cling on like an Isla peat does, but still.
Yeah, I'm
very
just
nice,
used
gorgeous.
I'll be sitting watching a movie with my wife, and not only can she smell the peat, which she might be able to hear, but I won't sit for 5 minutes because I'm still getting these peat finishes. Whereas here, I feel like it kind of drops off a cliff, and most of my peat experience is on the forefront. It's this explosive plume of peat smoke.
Well, and Westland, I would say, hopefully you're not insulted that we're comparing this to a Scottish peat. That's a compliment. Hopefully you feel the same.
Yeah,
I know you want.
I've been on their site. I've been on their site because I used to follow them pretty close, not so much recently, but they love making whiskey in some of that Scottish style. So,
well, and I think that's been a difficulty for American distilleries is to resemble or get close to that Scottish peat that people like. There's usually a little bit of a off-putty, tangy, sour.
I almost find it as a feature. The American regions are more by state.
Yeah.
So that Texas single malt, what's coming out of Washington State, and all these different
Colorado,
things.
New Mexico, you get some of those different.
You get these different kind of state feelings that are coming in, which is what I really like. And there's so much room to grow there and to be unique and different. So, but Westland's a pioneer, a forefront on the American single malt. I love what they're doing. And I'm so glad that J.
John England.
The bottle. I'm calling him JJJJ. He's like J squared. Boom.
I like this one with water. We had talked about this. That wasn't recorded. It brings out to me more. I think it really expands this one on the palate. I like this one better with water. I think it starts to open it up, and some of that sweetness starts to get exposed.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit more and more kind of a powdered, sugary sweetness.
There's definitely the powdered sugar. For me, the drop of water slowed down a little bit of that plume of smoke explosion on the forefront. What's very interesting is usually the sweet spot for me on the peat is usually in the finish, whereas here it's flipped and it's right at that first sip where it just grabs you and overtakes. The interesting thing is we'll usually save peats till like our last bottle, but we have a couple more shows to go.
Well, I underestimated you, Westland.
Yeah, look at that.
Most, if not all, of our American peated whiskeys that we've tried, the peat is lighter in. Sometimes it's non-existent. You're like, where is the peat? Like, where's the beef?
Yeah. Where's the beef?
Where's the peat? That might be a good T-shirt.
That would be good. Where's the peat?
But I underestimated you. I thought this would be the same, so I bumped it up in our filming series. We still have other whiskeys to review.
And we're going to have
Usually,
to take a pause just to cleanse the palate.
If I would have known how prevalent the peat is in this, I would have saved it. But I expected that usual more lightly peated style.
Yeah, and what I get in here is a little bit of that antiseptic Isla peat. And some folks that aren't into peat will say, antiseptic, how is that good? I don't know. It's a touch of the iodine and the smoke that I think is coming out of the wood, and I love it. Peat heads will recognize it. Some people will call it even Band-Aid or that plasticky kind of flavor. It's a little touch of the antiseptic, again, with all I can describe as that sooty, peaty plume that would come off of a steam engine and like encompass and fill your mouth. But then drop off with just some oak and smoky flavorings in the finish. It's interesting. It's nice. I love this. And
so
high ABV. Wow.
Usually, though, like that industrial smoke, like that is more Highland or even Campbelltown.
I don't know. Like a Bowmore has a strong, but I'm not a huge fan of Bowmore. Bowmore will have that for me, that industrial kind of coalish kind of peat. Whereas for me, the Highland Park or whatever, I'll get a heathery peat, which is a little lighter. Yeah. But I mean, a lot of the SMWS peats, even the ones from the Highlands, are stronger because they're cast strength. And you know, Highland Park is what, 42% maybe? I mean, it's a real weak
40 or 43.
Yeah, that's the problem there for me. I still like Highland Park as well, but it's a lighter entry. Whereas when you're with an SMWS, they're just punching way above their weight.
Right.
So
91. I'm scoring it. I like it. Great job, Westland.
Love it. 90.
Yeah.
Peat head wise, this is phenomenal. Well done. Well done. What a wonderful bottle.
Yep.
And I believe it's got my name on it. I don't know about yours.
$123 at the distillery. I don't believe this one is, bottled or for sale anywhere else. I think you have to go to the distillery. Yeah. And it's worth it. I think $120. Yeah, that's a little bit higher.
It is. But if I was there and I could fill this and then look how JJJJJJJ wrote our names in. I'm just having fun.
You've gone from JJ to JJJJJ.
JJ. So who am I talking about again?
John Ingman.
Bingo! I think he should just be formally known as JJJJJJJJJJ.
I try to ignore it, and it just keeps going.
This is where I have fun, baby. This is where I have fun. John Ingman, baby. Woo! Bring it. Bring it. All right. Anything else you want to throw in? I think that's a little pricey. And I got to point out, 700 milliliter?
Yeah.
I don't like it. I mean, it's still a beautiful bottle. And I'm a grumpy old dummy that's tied to the tradition of 750.
People don't like prison sex either. It's going to happen.
Maybe. You could fight them off.
Accept it or not.
Sure, if there's 5 of them, it's going to be a bad day.
Resist.
It's going to be a bad day.
The best.
Hold on, cleansing.
The best American peated whiskey I've had. Yeah.
Very good.
Yeah.
Phenomenal even.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love it. Love it. And if you haven't seen Westland's Peat Weeks, that gave you a foretaste of what they're able to do, and it's amazing. Hey, what I would love to do in the future is I don't know, maybe if I get to keep this and take it home, we could film at my house where I have some of the Peat Weeks and we could compare it. What do you think?
Sure.
Future show, baby. Future show.
I think
this against their own Peat Week.
Yeah, but I think this will make the Peat Weeks pale.
Wow. I think Peat Week's going to rise above with their circus memorabilia.
Let's close it right there.
Sorry. Scotch It. You Scotch gods.
Cilantro.
Dummies.